what type of engineering you did, when did you graduate, and what are you thinking about the future, perhaps coming to Australia, please?
Okay. My name is João Victor. Today I'm living in Brazil. I'm 27 and I am an agronomist. Uh, Me and my girlfriend and I, we are trying to apply to go to Australia probably in the beginning of next year of 2025. And I'm looking for to prepare my diploma to work as agronomist in Australia. I graduated at 2020. But I always worked in the commercial field, only always selling first with chemicals for big crops and then with biological products.
Okay.
But I think that my main competence is on commercial field.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we can have a look, and thanks, João. Just going to quickly, unfortunately, I can't share the screen here because we are in Instagram, but I
Mhm.
will look at the definition of the ANZCO ANZ SEO, the Australian and New Zealand standard classification of occupations, and that is going to be the definition that you will need to use when you're going to choose your experiences. So the agricultural engineer, it says here, performs and supervises engineering work related to the use and development of agricultural land, buildings, machines, and equipment. So, so that's pretty much the definition of the agricultural engineer, which is probably the occupation that you're going to apply for. So, yeah, that's very good, João. And what's your question? How can I help you?
So, as I said, I always worked in the commercial field. Besides it, I have a lot of technical assistance too, because it was not only about to sell the products. I always need to visit the crops to see what is better. I can use it to for engineers Australia in my diploma, or only the commercial is not enough to how can I say it, get not get my diploma on Australia, but to legalize it
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, the commercial. Yeah, I kind of can understand your commercial side of your agricultural engineering, uh, and depends how you're going to emphasize your experience. If you just use your commercial experience in terms of selling products to improve crop productivity, etc., it may not be a very good idea because it's more like a salesperson.
Mhm.
However, if your job as an agriculture engineer was to kind of go to the farms, for example, make some assessment of the crops. So you did some engineering work, so you could, for example, suggest to the farmer, for this type of crop, if you want to get this type of productivity, according to my assessment, according to my thing, this is the chemicals, all the chemicals that you need to apply. You need to apply in this regime, this amount per square kilometer, whatever. I don't know what's the unit.
Yeah,
But
so
if
it's
you
better
yeah,
get the focus on the technical part of it.
yeah, the technical part, the
Okay.
sales obviously is part of the job, but
Hmm.
uh, let's say that you couldn't sell unless the person or the farmer or the farm already say, yeah, I want this. But if the farmer comes and say, João, my problem is that my crop is not really giving me what I'm expecting.
Mm-hmm.
What can you suggest? And
Oh.
then for you to suggest, for you to kind of advise what product to use, you were going then to, you had to probably do some analysis, some engineering analysis, and obviously understand about all the things that you need to do a proper assessment to
Mm-hmm.
analyze what's going to be better for that particular crop in terms of chemicals and I don't know how to say fertilizantes or pesticides or whatever, because it could be pesticides. You know, I think that agronomists, they also kind of work with fighting pests. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you? Yeah. So they say, oh, my crop is got a pest and I'm losing my crop. So what do I need to do? And then to improve the productivity of my crop. So if you have had that experience in analyzing the problem, because the best thing for you to focus with Engineers Australia is to think about a problem. And
Okay.
then as an engineer, you are there to solve that problem. So if the farmer, uh, you approach a farmer or the farmer contacts your company and say, you know, I have this problem. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is that I should be having this much tonnage by hectares, whatever, but I'm having 30% less. And then as an agronomist or an agricultural engineer, you will use your engineering knowledge, your engineering judgment. You're going to do analysis. You're going to assess the situation. And then you're going to say, you know, it's kind of it's a mix of probably not enough irrigation or the fertilizant or those fertilizantes are not good or there's a little bit of a pest here, the plants are a little bit with some disease, and you've got to treat that, etc., etc., etc. So that's what you need to focus. And then you say, and for that, I've got the right product for you. I've got this, and I can sell it for you.
And the product. Yeah. Besides
Yeah.
the whole of the my job, what was always to sell. The first contact with the products was always uh, firstly to do this, just this
Yeah.
technical to
Yeah.
put the product. The selling, I think it's a consequence of the
It's
whole
a
process.
consequence. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that I can use it to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Another question that I have, Gerson, is like I want to go to Australia. As I said in the beginning of the next year, I'm preparing for it. I'm going to do the IELTS test this weekend right now
All right.
to to keep preparing my documents. I can start my process with Engineers Australia wide. I keep on Brazil, or I need to arrive on Australia first.
Now you can do from Brazil, and in fact, a lot of people they do from Brazil, especially if you are working. You have your, you know, your monthly salary that you're getting, and you're studying English and those sort of things. So you can keep working. You dedicate a little bit of time to study your English. So you're going to do your test now,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the meantime, you can work in parallel, thinking about the experiences, collecting some documents, and starting your reports, writing, you know, a draft of your
Mm-hmm.
reports, your career episodes, and then when you kind of because you have enough some time, you can then get your validation after you get your English test, and you can come to Australia with your qualification already validated. So, and that is a big bonus if you come to Australia with your qualification validated already. You can even apply for a visa while you are in Brazil. You get your qualification validated, you get your English test, you talk to a migration agent, and then you can apply for a visa while you are in Brazil. And who knows, maybe depends the type of visa that you apply. You could come to Australia as a permanent resident. So who knows?
Yeah, yeah. My first
Yeah.
idea was to try the working holiday visa,
Yeah.
and then try and in this middle this time that I have until the end of the year, I was thinking to do it to arrive in the country with my diploma as I can use it, but then during the working holiday visa, probably I will try to apply for a qualified visa to use it.
Yeah. And
But
with the working holiday visa, you have you have the right to work full time. So that's another
Mhm.
advantage, because usually working part time, sometimes it is a little bit of a difficulty for overseas engineers when they arrive in Australia. But you will have the rights to work full time. I believe that you need to kind of you cannot work long time in just one company. I think
Mhm. Yeah,
with working holidays, you gotta work for like, I don't know, a few months, and then you gotta leave and take some time off, and then you can, yeah, you need to change work. But nevertheless, I don't know, maybe in your industry, in the agriculture engineering industry, there could be options for you to work, with the producers for a short period of time to provide them your technical assistance, and then take some time off or change employers or whatever. But it is a plan, and it is a good plan because you can work full time.
yeah, yeah. I think for the moment, uh, at least in my case, I think for me it's the better one. I will try to start this process with Engineers Australia to enjoy time. I need to prepare it, but I'm a little bit lost at this beginning. I already talked with some engineer with some agriculture engineers that they are already in Australia. They said me that there are a lot of work for this whole in the whole country, but it's a lot of process. I think that you are going to understand me, and a little bit lost. But I think that I'm following a nice process to adapt myself for it. I'm
Yes, and that's
going to try
something. Yeah,
to use
and that's
it.
something that um, I was talking to another engineer this morning, and just explaining, and he's already here, uh, saying that Australia, it's a wonderful country, but things are not easy here as well. Even though there's a even though there's a lot of demand for engineers, the unemployment rate is very low. I think it's a 3.8% unemployment. So companies, they always trying to look for professionals, all types of professionals, also obviously engineers. But it's not easy because companies, even though they need engineers, they're not going to get somebody that they don't speak English very well, or
Mhm.
they don't have knowledge of the local legislation, they don't have knowledge of the local specifications. So it's a good idea for you to, while you are in Brazil, perhaps as part of your study in English, read some of the legislation here. Especially agricultural engineering, you have to understand about the environmental legislation here, because there are some very strict environmental legislation that depends on the chemicals that you use. You don't want to spread illegally some
Mm-hmm.
chemicals in
Mm-hmm.
lanes or rivers or creek, whatever. So it's important for you to understand the environmental legislation, understand the safety legislation, and also the local technical specifications in your area. So when you come here, at least you know a little bit about the legislation, you know about the technical specifications. If you can find an agricultural technical magazine, for example, here in Australia, maybe you can start reading some of that material. And that also will help with your CPD, your continuing professional development.
Mm-hmm.
When you study legislation, when you study the technical specifications, when you read those technical magazines, it will help with your learning, your professional development. So you can start recording your continuing professional development events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just only one question. How long this process takes? Of course, that I think that it's going to depends of the dedication of the worker, but to get this whole process with the engineers Australia, probably I'm going to spend something around 3-4 months.
Yeah, as I said, depends on obviously how much effort
Mm-hmm.
you put in. For example, my students, I have students that they finished everything in 2 weeks because their visa was going to expire, so they had to finish in 2 weeks so they could get a graduate visa. So they finished everything in 2 weeks. Others, I've got students that they took 3 years to do it. They started to do with me, but then things got a little bit busy. Others, they got sick. They had issues with family, etc., etc., and they took years to finish. But in average, if you dedicate, let's say, 5 to 6 hours a week, I'm not saying a day, five, six
Mm-hmm.
hours a week, I think in 3 or 4 months you will finish everything. So,
Oh,
but obviously you need to be disciplined.
mm-hmm.
If you're going to, I know that you are working, you're preparing yourself for the English test, you have your social life, but you will need
Yeah.
some
No, I understand.
you will need to sacrifice something
A
as
little
well.
bit to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Depends what is your priority. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, the social life, going out, having barbecue, going to the beach is their
It's more
priority.
important.
And then obviously they're going to take longer to do the validation.
Yeah.
But if validation is their priority, they could say, yeah, well, I'm just going out on Sunday, and then I'm going to do my validation Friday, Saturday, for example, or in a
Mm-hmm.
day in the week. So as long as you are regular, you dedicate 5 6 hours a week, I think in 3 or 4 months you will be finishing.
Yeah, probably I will try to do it to handle it during this time that I have left in here
Yeah,
to do it to try to arrive in the country with this ready to use it.
yeah, yeah. Now, yeah, that's good, João. I think you've got a good plan, and I wish all the best. And you know where to find me if you have any questions. Just send me a message.
Okay, I will try to finish first this English test because I'm gonna need it for the visa that I'm trying to apply. But
All right,
probably I will be in touch with you too. I will
all right.
need help to do it. So I'm trying. As I said, I need to in my mind I need to arrive in the country with this because it probably will make my life very easier and better too. But probably I will be in touch with you to get some
It
help.
it it will probably open more doors for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of ones. But thanks for the consultation, Gerson. Thanks for
No
the
worries,
time.
João. No, that's all
Yeah.
right. And thank you again for participating in the workshop, and all the best to you.
Oh, thanks for you too. And probably I will be on the next one too.
All right. Okay. Yeah,
See you, Gerson.
it starts Sunday the 19th. Well, it's going to be Saturday the 18th in Brazil. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably I will be there.
All right then. Thanks, João.
Thanks, Gerson. Have a nice week.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Then this was João Victor Cardoso. He was one of the lucky winners of the 15 minutes of free consulting. And if you want to be the next winner of the 15 minutes of free consulting, again, I'm going to be promoting my free online workshop, the Engineering Journey 2024, and starting on Sunday, the 19th of May, 9 a.m. Brisbane time. If you are in Brazil, it's going to be Saturday, the 18th of May, 8 p.m. at night. And during the workshop, I'm going to be giving away more consulting, free consulting sessions. So there will be some challenges that I will be putting in the WhatsApp group. So if you're not in the WhatsApp group, make sure that when you do your registration, and you can go to the link in my bio, when you register to the workshop, make sure that you join the WhatsApp group, because I'm going to put some challenges in the WhatsApp group, and then those ones that they do the challenge, they will be running for the free 15 minutes of free consulting. Okay. I'm going to check if there's any questions. If there's no questions, I've got some questions that I received during the last workshop, and I'm going to read the questions here. All right. This question probably came from Brazil as well, because it's in Portuguese, but I will translate. It's about the reference letter. How should it be, this reference letter? Do they need to specify and have all the details, or just to say that I've worked in that company? So the answer is that the reference letter is a very important document when you are validating your qualification. And it needs to have pretty much all the details of the things that you did in that company. So starting with the company letterhead, or papel timbrado in Portuguese. And it needs to have, obviously, the name of the company, the position or the title that you had in that company, for how long did you work, the starting date, day, month, and year, and the finish date, day, month, and year. And also, if you're working part-time, full-time, and if you can, it would be good to have what was your salary per month, per year, per week, per fortnight, especially if you're going to do your work experience validation with Engineers Australia. They will need to see how much did you get to work as an engineer in that company. Also, it's very important that you list at least the 5 main activities that you performed as an engineer in that company. And if you're going to use a particular project in your career episodes, it's important that your project is also listed in the letter as well. And obviously, the letter needs to be signed by your supervisor, or somebody from the human resources department, or from the director or whoever manager in that company. And it's important to have the contact details of the person who is signing the letter as well. All right. Um, Another question about the CDR process. And if you don't know what is a career episode, if you don't know what a CDR is, competency demonstration report, make sure that you register to the workshop because I'm going to explain everything. The question is, what are the most difficult points to understand in the CDR process? Well, obviously, the answer is depends. But from my perspective, from the issues that I see from engineers and people that ask questions to me, even my students, I think that one of the most difficult part is to understand the 16 competencies that you are required to address and what examples can you use to address those 16 competencies. I think that is one of the most difficult parts, which is going to be critical for your career episode and also critical for your summary statement as well. There's a question here from Luis. And if you guys in YouTube have any question as well, yeah, you're more than welcome to put the questions in the chat. The question from Luis is, hi Gerson, I have one question if you don't mind. I'm a civil engineer, but I don't have experience. I know that I can still apply for an engineer in Australia. How do I tell them it is an academic CDR? Yeah, thanks, Luis, for the question. The simplest way that you can do that is when you're writing your career episode, the first bit of your career episode is going to be the introduction. In that introduction, you just need to say that the career episode is going to be based on an academic experience when you did a particular subject or a particular assessment or a particular project that you did, and just write in the introduction if it was part of your internship, if it was part of your final assessment, or if it was just an exam that you did for your subjects. So it doesn't need to be too complicated. You just need to put in the beginning of your introduction. All right, so it's almost half an hour, and I always try to keep those live sessions to half an hour. And if you think, I just saw some likes, if you think that the information is good, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not going to, you're not going to lose your finger. And it keeps motivating me to keep going and keep sharing information. And also Instagram will understand that this content is relevant and it will distribute to other engineers and it will help other engineers. And that's one of the reasons why I do these live sessions. I'm give away the free consulting here on Instagram because João asked me several questions and I'm pretty sure that the answer that I gave to him also helped you. And also I saw that Francisco joined us a little bit earlier. And to let you know that tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Brisbane time, here on Instagram and YouTube, I'm delivering the free 15 minutes consulting to Francisco. He also was one of the lucky winners of the 15 minutes of free consulting in the last free workshop. And also he became my student as well. So tomorrow we're going to have a chat with Francisco, 7 p.m. And he's a civil engineer. He's arrived in Australia just last month, I think, and in Melbourne. And we'll have a nice chat tomorrow as well. All right, so I will answer the last question here that I've got so many questions. Yeah, no worries, João. Yeah, I'm very glad that it helped you a lot. Let me just choose a very good question. Yeah, this is a very interesting question because Engineers Australia, they have an email. It's memberservices@engineersaustralia.org.au. And usually when you have questions, you can send Engineers Australia questions and they will answer. So, but that's obviously when it's kind of a generic questions. The question here is, do they answer questions about career episodes in the email? I'd say that particular specific questions about your career episodes, they're not going to answer because obviously it's your career episode. If you send a paragraph to them saying, is this paragraph good enough for this competency? They probably going to answer to you, reply to you saying, sorry, but that is your judgment. So they're not really going to answer that. They answer questions, more generic questions. For example, I am a civil engineer, but I worked 10 years as an doing electrical engineering work. Can I validate as an electrical engineer? They're probably going to answer to you saying that, if you graduated as a civil engineer, but worked 10 years in electrical engineering, but you haven't studied electrical engineering, they're probably going to reply to you saying that you don't have the underpinning fundamental knowledge of electrical engineering, and therefore you will not be able to apply as an electrical engineer. You should be applying for a civil engineer. So that's a sort of a questions that they're probably going to answer. If you ask very specific questions about your career episodes or your summary statement, it's very unlikely that they're going to answer to you. All right, so last question that came here, and that's going to be it. Oh, and there is one question in YouTube as well. So I'm going to, this question in YouTube. Hi, Philip Bailon. Thanks for watching. Hi, my future employer offered me 482 visa. I'm a mechanical engineer with experience in Philippines and in abroad. My migrant agent told me that no need for me to take English test. I only need English medium. Yes, that's probably a question for a migration agent, Philip. The requirements for English, obviously, if you're going to do your validation, you get your English test results and get minimum scores of your English test. But for your 482 visa, one, I don't know what type of visa it is. I think it's a temporary visa. But because I'm not a registered migration agent, I wouldn't really be able to answer this to you, unfortunately. Probably better to talk to a migration agent and make sure that you get the right answer. But thanks anyway for your question. So Diego asked in Instagram, hi Gerson, just a quick question. Is the letter form my old company mandatory in the process? Yeah, thanks for the question, Diego. The letter could be mandatory if you are going to use a work experience. If you're going to use work experience, you need to have the reference letter. Yeah, Jerson, but the company shut down operations. They closed doors and they don't exist anymore. In that case, I usually say to my students, do you have another experience? Do you have another experience from another company that can give you the letter? Because the letter is very important. It's the confirmation from your supervisor that you did that work. And in Australia, for you to be considered competent, you need to have your theoretical knowledge, the application of that theoretical knowledge, and confirmation from your supervisor. 3 pieces of evidence for you to be made competent. If you don't have the letter, you just have 2 pieces of evidence. If you don't have any other experience that you can use, you just have to use that experience, well, then you gotta use what you have. If you don't have the letter, you can try to provide other documentation like your employment contract, your position description, your pay slips, your tax return, something to make sure that you had like an employment agreement with that company. Will that work? I don't know. It depends on the assessor, because it's probably not going to say what you did. And the letter is going to say that you did what's in the letter. So it's a confirmation from your supervisor. It's not you saying, it's the supervisor saying that you did that work. The other question from Rodrigo, in your point of view, the chances of the government, in your point of view, the chances of the government could be good or not? Sorry, Rodrigo, I quite didn't understand. Chances of the government. What chances? Is it chances or changes? I couldn't really understand. Yeah, in your point of view, the chances of the government could be good or not? I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. I couldn't really understand. Sorry. All right. So I think if I haven't answered your question, or if you have another question, make sure that tomorrow, 7 p.m. Brisbane time, 6 a.m. Brasilia time, you are here again, because I will be here tomorrow evening again, delivering 15 minutes of free consulting with Francisco, and you have another chance to ask questions as well. And if you haven't registered to the free online workshop about the validation process to become an engineer in Australia, make sure that you go to my link in my bio here on Instagram and register yourself. The workshop starts on Sunday, 19th of May, 9 a.m. Brisbane time. If you're in Brazil, it's going to be 18th of May, Saturday, 8 p.m. with then the other 2 live sessions on Monday and Tuesday, 7 p.m. Brisbane time. Always here on Instagram and YouTube. All right. So thank you very much, guys. And I hope to see you all tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Brisbane time. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.